Hi and welcome to the third subscriber report. Now the purpose of these videos is it's a bit of a feedback and Q&A and discussion between myself and the subscribers to the channel. So if you've just happened along it and you're not a subscriber, sorry, keep clicking. I do have other videos, click on some of those. Now, what I'm going to start with is comments from, it's a bit like a meeting, isn't it, on the agenda. First thing is minutes raised from the last meeting. So what we'll do is we'll go through some of the comments that were added to the video. This will be probably quite new for some people if they're watching this video, because since the last subscriber report, just over a month ago, there's over 50% more subscribers now. So if you're new to this and you haven't watched the other two, then welcome. And first comment was really about the series on dungeons, like vanilla features. And just to remind people about that, the first one I did was Stratho, and it was just because I was boosting my mage. I was leveling up a new mage because I wanted to mage on both of my accounts so that I can easily teleport people around. Just laziness. And I was in Stratho and I think there's so many things here that I remember what these were for. And I thought to myself, but would people who are newer to the game know what they're for? So I've started this series. Now, I'm not going to do every dungeon, but I've just put up the 7th one yesterday on Moradin. They've generally been quite well received. The number of views has varied wildly. Now, one comment that came in here was about posting it on Reddit. And, Reddit, it's one of those things you can get quite good results. You obviously can't spam all your videos on there, and quite rightly so. They do have rules about, you have to engage with the actual Reddit boards, and you shouldn't be putting on more than one a week and things like that, which is absolutely fair enough. As they say, it's not an advertising medium for people's YouTube videos. Of course, that did give me an idea. And maybe such a thing would be quite a good idea if someone ever came up with a website that was specifically for showcasing different YouTube videos, or channels, I should say, and people could put up their stall, so to speak. It might be quite a good idea. But Reddit is not the forum for that. But I put the Stratho one on there, and 10,000 views. Ooh. Now they're not necessarily views. I don't know what they necessarily mean. They could have been people clicking on it and 5 seconds later going, "Oh no," and turning off it. I don't know. But the comments were generally quite supportive, and more likes than dislikes, which is always good. But dislikes are fine too. And I've done that each week. The next week it was Diamol. There were about 5,000 views for that, I want to say, something like that. So not quite so good, still not bad. And then the following one, I think, was Scholarmancer, which is actually my favourite dungeon from Vanilla Times. Didn't get very much at all. And then there's been a few others like that. It's not got very much, not got very much. Moradin was the latest one, a few thousand, nothing great. So it's not a guaranteed thing with Reddit. It's a funny audience. And then there was just speaking of Reddit, there was another video a couple of weeks. Now, I actually wanted to do this subscriber report last week, but I got ill with flu. Still sort of recovering now. I've got over it, but I'm still coughing a bit. And I did, I'm sure it was 2 Sundays ago. I'm pretty sure it was anyway. And I did a few videos. There were a few different ones I had to do. And then one of them I noticed suddenly getting a few more views than I would have expected quite quickly. A few hundred, but quicker, because it was just on it was just a quick video on cooking and a little bit of first aid. And I thought, because I like professions in all MMOs. I've mentioned that before if you follow my channel for any length of time. And not many people do stuff on professions in alpha and beta videos. So I thought, well, I'll do what I can. There's a lot of stuff we can't do in the professions at the moment because a lot of stuff not working, but do what I can. And then I noticed someone had retweeted me on Twitter. You can't really retweet anyone else, can you? And I thought, oh, that's nice of him. And he had a few followers, so it probably explains a bit of it. And then suddenly it started getting loads and loads. That's going up to over 1,000, stuff like that. I thought, this is a bit funny. And I was just happening to browse Reddit, and I noticed that my video was there on the front page. I thought, I didn't put that there. What's going on? Someone else had put it there. And people actually really liked it, and I thought, this is really strange. It's just a bit of a catch-up on cooking, really. Funny how some things really get people, and some things that you think would be really good, people are not so bothered about. So that was quite nice, and I'm not suggesting people should just sort of spam all my videos on Reddit, but you know, the odd selected one, it was quite nice because I can only put one on a week, and yeah, whoever put it up obviously chose correctly. Because then I did another video a bit later on the gnomes thing, the truth about gnomes, which if you haven't seen, you must see. It's very important, and more about that in a bit. But I noticed I was going to put that on. I thought the weekend seems to be quite a good time to put it on, like Saturday, in what would be very early morning in North America, but you know, a bit later in Europe, to try and catch as many as possible. And someone else, it turned, because it wouldn't let me post it, it says it's already been posted. And I thought, no, it hasn't. And then I had a look, and someone actually had posted it up, but it didn't get very far. Obviously, lots of gnomes and gnome sympathisers on Reddit, but there you go. And so yeah, I mean, the general idea of trying to get the videos out there is something I'm going to try and work on this year. It's not all that easy to do, because there is no one place where you just put everything on there. Because if you keep putting it on there, people are just going to get pissed off with you, because they don't want to listen to you just hawking your shit all the time. So I think it's a case of targeting it and seeing where it might be suitable and just letting it build up slowly, I suppose. There's not going to be a rapid increase in the subscriber base or views that I'm getting on videos. Just let it happen, and hopefully over time it will happen, and we'll just see, we'll go from there. On next comment, it says super nitpicky, be as nitpicky as you like. It says sequence could stand to be a few seconds shorter, so that was an easy fix. I just chopped a couple of seconds off. Hopefully that's a bit better for you now, and I keep it the same as that now. But if anyone's got any comments about the intro sequence, so again, all comments gratefully received. As I've said before, I'll say it again, at the end of the day, the worst that can happen with a comment is I disagree and don't do it. But a lot of the time I do agree, especially if lots of people say yes to that. Next one is might enjoy the channel, different type of content, like on a rep paladin video linking me to your vlogs in one playlist, and vanilla type videos in another. So I sort of and there was another comment as well, I think it might have been the same comment actually, about outros as well. So I did an intro, already had that before, and then the video sort of ends and see you later, off you go, bugger off. And so I've done a bit of an outer now, or outro, whatever you want to call it. And what I did first of all was I just did a screen with like the thumbnails that I use, the title thumbnails that I use to differentiate my different types of video, because I'm very conscious of the fact that I do World of Warcraft videos, but on different areas, and some people will be interested in some types of video, and some will be more interested in others. So I want to make it very clear when you're getting your sort of feed about the videos that I've put up, just so you can see the thumbnail hopefully and know what it's about, and then you either know to say no, I'm not interested in that part of it, and you don't have to worry about it, or yes, that's the sort of thing, because I don't want you sort of clicking on it and it's not quite what you were thinking. So I did that, and then used the spotlight annotation thing, so you can click on it and it goes to that particular playlist. But it's fiddly. Oh my god, putting the spotlights in the right place is bloody fiddly. So I, after a bit, abandoned that, and first of all I was just putting an annotation there that just said, look, I do other videos as well, click on here and go and see them. But then I sort of, that was just a holding position till I developed a couple of new ending slides. So what I've done now hopefully is an improvement. I'm not necessarily saying it's perfect. If anyone's got any suggestions, again, put those in. But what I've done now, of course, is just put a couple of featured videos. The Truth About Gnomes ones is featuring quite prominently. I'm shoving that wherever I can. But, you know, to videos that are on something maybe slightly different that you might still be interested in. And hopefully that's working a little bit better. But let me know what you think about that. As well as on the final slide still, an overall one that says the sort of things I do, and click in, you can see all my playlists. And I think that was about it. There was another comment about the audio, but I think that was sorted out, and people were quite good with the feedback on that and got back to me quite quickly on that, saying that that was sort of okay. There's a few videos I brought out now, because we were discussing before about bringing out videos and whether they if it was going to be a long one, whether it should be in shorter parts and so on. And most people sort of say no to that. And what I've sort of discerned from various comments, and some people have commented on the videos themselves, some people have emailed me and sort of more privately. And I think what the consensus is, if it's a guide, keep it the full length and use timestamps. So there's a few videos where I've sort of done that a little bit. But if it's more of a sort of general interest one, try and keep them shorter. So for example, the vanilla dungeon thing, I'm trying to keep those at a reasonable length, because it's not, I gather that's not the sort of video people want to sort of watch for 10 minutes and then leave it where it is and watch it again a bit later. Whereas maybe in a guide, there's in different sections, people are okay watching one section and then another section later on. So that's where we are at the moment. Where we are in terms of alpha, of course, is we're now at level cap. So we're still not at the point where it's worth my time designing guides. It still makes me chuckle and makes me sad both at the same time when I see some people doing guide to this and guide to that, and especially when they try and do guides to Retribution Paladins. Absolutely laughable because it changes every week. We're not at that point yet. There's a couple of things where I could probably have a stab at it, but anything can change in the next few months. So that'll be a job for July. I think July and August is when I will start doing those, but I will still not publish them until I am sure it's going to be like that at live, which might mean that I put professions and other features, shall we say, guides out first, and then the actual class guides and end game content come very close to launch, but I'll be working on them over summer. In the meantime, we're getting more and more end game or level cap content, I should say. So there'll be videos coming out on that. I've been getting some footage for various bits and pieces when I can. The group PvE is really what I want to do, but it's very difficult. The queues are extremely long, and there's no guarantee that when you get people in there that they've got any staying power. But where I can, I'll put stuff like that out. But in terms of the solo level cap content, I've got a video coming out tomorrow, I think, with some stuff there. Maybe even later tonight if I get on with it, but I think probably tomorrow. And we'll just go from there and just keep the feedback coming. And let me know if there's any little thing, and don't worry about being super nitpicky. Be as nitpicky as you like. As I say, ultimately, I will either agree or I don't agree. If I agree, I'll do it. And if I don't agree, or if I agree, but it's, you know, I can't, either because of limited time or limited resources, then, you know, that's all there is to it. But it's always worth a suggestion. But thanks very much for the feedback so far. It's very much been appreciated. And welcome to the new subscribers since then. Hopefully the next time I do this, and again, I'm not going to put a date on it because I don't know exactly when it will be suitable. When I think it's suitable, in other words, if there are any more suggestions, which would be absolutely great, and I've put them in place, once I've had time to sort of test them out properly, or if there's any other news coming up or any other change in direction as we move, maybe from alpha to beta. Still can't believe it's sort of beta now. It is beta, like the builds are called beta, but they're still calling it alpha. So maybe when we move into beta and many more people are getting keys, maybe the nature of the Legion videos changes again. So I don't know, but I'm thinking maybe end of May is when I'll do a 4th version of this, but not going to guarantee because it's sort of when it is sensible is when. But anyway, thanks very much for supporting the channel, and until next time, I'll see you later.